Hi, everyone, and good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Sandy Elson, and on behalf of the travel professional community and homebasedtravelagent.com, I want to welcome all of you and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. Our host today is Emerald Waterways, and today's title is Learn More About Emerald Waterways, Europe's Deluxe River Cruise Line. Our speaker is Randy Goodrich. Randy does travel agent training for both Scenic and Emerald and is also a business development manager for both cruise lines. As always, we really appreciate the support we get from both Emerald and Scenic. Before we get started, please remember that you are all muted, but we welcome your questions. You can type in your questions at any time in the question area you see on the right-hand panel of your screen. At the end of Randy's presentation, we will get to as many questions as we can. So let's let Randy get started with all the great information he has for us today. Welcome, Randy.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for participating and expressing some interest in Emerald Waterways. It's a wonderful, brand new river cruise company. Only started 2 years ago. And you see in the first year, we got the award from Cruise Critics for Best New Design of a River Cruise Ship. We'll show you why that is. And 2015, we got the Best Value Award. So we're going to go through that today, show you some of the special features that your clients can enjoy sailing on one of the Emerald ships. And then hopefully we'll have time for some questions afterwards, and then we'll go from there. So first off, Emerald Waterways is owned by Scenic Luxury Tourism Cruises. Scenic is a company out of Australia, started in business in 1986, so this would be our 30th year in business. It was started by Glenn Maroney, fresh out of college. He started doing some local tours in Australia and grew that business into starting to send Australians and New Zealanders around the world on their big annual vacations of a month plus, and became a very, very successful luxury tour operator. In 2008, he decided he would get into the river cruise business. He leased a bunch of different river cruises from our fellow competitors and decided from that what he liked, what the clients liked, and what they thought could be done a little bit better. And because he wanted to be the first to actually have a river cruise company that was focused on the five-star luxury end of the business. So he did do some wonderful things with Scenic, built some ships, has remodeled some of them, as of this year we'll have 17 ships. In 2014, he started Emerald Waterways because of the huge increase in the popularity of river cruises, and Scenic was more the upscale, a little more spendy, more all-inclusive brand. So he felt that he needed a brand that was had some very modern facilities on board, was priced competitively with some of the mainstream competitors, but offered some more values to the customer. So you had 2 ships built in 2014. He had 2 more ships added last year, so there's 4 ships in total. We had a 5th ship, the Belle, coming on this year. You may have read the news that during construction a couple weeks ago, it burnt down. Caught on fire, electrical fire on board, and so that is out of commission for this year. We'll have it ready for next year with 2 more ships we'll tell you about. So we have a total of 4 ships that we own. We also lease a ship on the Rhone, and charter a couple ships in Southeast Asia, in both Mekong and Irrawaddy. There's our awards in 14 and 15, so we're 2 for 2 so far in our first 2 years in business. We call our ships starships just because they're special. That's special extra things that they offer we'll go through. And it's a deluxe 4-star, probably 4-star plus experience for your client. I personally consider most of the river cruise companies that are out there that are selling actively in the U.S. marketplace to be the 4 or 5-star. And so they include an awful lot because they include the tours and the food and some alcohol. And there's like Scenic would include all the alcohol, but some of them, but still it's a 4-star experience in my opinion. So our ships are the Sky and the Star, and we had the Dawn and the Sun added this last year. So they're all brand new. They're all exactly the same. They're the same size. They're 443 feet long. They're 38 feet wide, and that's basically the maximum that you can have a river ship in Europe, to make it through the canals, locks, under the bridges, three decks high. So they're all the same. In our case, 443 feet, that's as long as you can have it. That's what Viking has, is the long ships. These are the same size. So just to give you a comparison, if you look at Viking, they typically have around 200 passengers on their ships. Emerald 2.5, 182, because we've taken out a bunch of room for our pool and our cinema, are a little bigger than others. And so it's 182, just by comparison. Scenic's one of the lowest, 169. So it's just a matter, that all relates to price as well, although Emerald is a great value because even with that many fewer passengers and cabins, they still keep the price down, competitive with the other guys. You can see here in the diagram where the pool is. We'll go into more detail on that later, but just so you have a good idea where it is. It's in the back. You access it through that third deck, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous room. And then you have the different suites. We have the larger owner's suites, dark red, burgundy type color there in the top deck. And then there's some grand suites, and then you'll see the others in a moment. So we talked about exceptional value. Let's go through that. We do include all transfers to the ship, and then at the end of the cruise from the ship to the airport or train station, wherever they're leaving from. And that's whether you buy the airfare through us or not. We really don't care if you buy the airfare. We do have it available in both coach and business, but it's not necessary to buy that in order to get the transfer. We do want your client to get from the airport to the ship in a convenient and fashion that where we know that, and then we know they're going to get there. If they're not at the airport, we know there's some issues and get on it right away. Of course, all meals on board are included. We have 2 restaurants that do a fantastic job, and I'll show you those in a minute. Complimentary wine, beer, and soft drinks, company lunch and dinner. It's an assortment of wine, not just one red, one white, but an assortment of different reds and different whites to match people's palates, what they like, prefer. Tea and coffee available, of course, all the time. We have a 24-hour coffee service that's quite popular. Bottled water restocked in the cabin and a little mini refrigerator there. And you have an included shore excursion basically every day. May not be the first day of the cruise or even the last, because you're getting you off the ship in order to get to the airport. But every day, basically, you have a shore excursion included, and typically in the morning hours. And then we include an extra we call Emerald Plus, typically 1 per week. And that's a special tour that we think is important for everybody to have a chance to take. So we don't charge the customer any extra. So that's a big additional benefit and value with that Emerald, is this extra. It can be fairly significant shore excursion that would normally cost $100 per person plus. Not always, but that it certainly could. Depends on the itinerary. Of course, we use local guides, and a lot of the guides are the guides that we use with Scenic as well. In both cases, we pay all the tips and gratuities. We prepay them, and we prepay at a very generous level. So the guides tend to really want to work for both Emerald and Scenic and tend to be the best guides out there. Complimentary Wi-Fi is available throughout the ship, of course. All port charges are included. We do have bicycles on board. They're not the e-bikes like Scenic, but they're regular bicycles, but there's 30 some of those on board. We can always get more in the ports. first-class service. It's entirely English-speaking. The clientele is going to be English-speaking, primarily from Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, and North America. With North America just increasing all the time in the percentage of people from as we continue to get the word out there on these fantastic cruises. And of course, we take care of all tips and gratuities. A lot of the main river cruise companies out there that you're familiar with do not include tips and gratuities, or they may just include the tips and gratuities on board. We include them both on board and on shore with our guides and whatnot too. So your customer can sit back, relax, have a great time, and it's money that they don't have to spend, but it's also worry they don't have to worry about. Because I don't know about you guys, but almost every trip I'm ever on, cruises and whatnot, people just start freaking out about how much money do I have to pay, who do I have to pay, I don't want to pay too much, I don't want to pay not enough, et cetera, et cetera. Take that off the table, sit back, relax, have a good time, don't worry about it. So the ships, we call them starships. They're what I would call a little bit more trendy. They're a lot of chrome, a lot of glass, a lot of mirrors, very windows throughout, so everything's very, very light. If you compare kind of to hotel brands, I'd say think about like W Hotel, a little bit more trendy, lots of couches, places to sit. Want people to be comfortable, relaxed, have a good time. So there's some more pictures of the mezzanine, the reception area. Here's our lounge and bar. As I mentioned, it's larger than the typical one you'll find out there. We try to put a ton of couches and chairs to really encourage people to mingle together. It's a wonderful international experience on both Scenic and Emerald because of the clientele coming from English-speaking countries around the world. So your customers, instead of having an entire crew or entire cast of North Americans, you actually have people from Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, South Africa, places like that. Everybody speaks English, but definitely comes from a different culture and different history that you could share and talk about, and that's just an added bonus. Reflections Restaurant's our primary restaurant. Easily handles everybody in one seating, so we only have one seating. Typically, you have a breakfast, which is hot and cold buffet. Behind the waiter there, you kind of see it in the center of the room. So it's very easy for people to manage to get around and try everything in the world you can think of. Just out is there for breakfast as well as for lunch. And then the dinner is a 4-course, lovely, excellent food. Our chefs and our waiters and our entire staff, they're all trained in the same place and the same manner as they are for Scenic, which is your 5-star brand. So it's really hard to tell the difference in the service level there. You can certainly tell it from some of the other 4-star brands, but it's really 5-star service with a very professional crew. To mention, we have complimentary wine and beer at lunch and dinner, and it's an assortment. There's a number of different beers, there's a number of different wines that they can choose from. Sample of one of our menus, so you can see it's a lot of nice, typically something in the meat area, something in the fish area, probably something in the vegetarian area as well is almost always there. We do ask ahead of time if your client does have any special food requirements. Gluten-free is pretty popular. Some other things that they may have, we'll certainly adhere to those as long as we're aware of it. So there's a form you can fill out for that. Then we have the terrace area. This is up in the lounge in the very front of the ship. Looking out, that's the bow in the front there, so you can eat inside or outside. It's lovely. It's meant to be kind of light breakfast, light lunch for the most part, and just a delightful place to eat with a lot more scenery. You're sitting up in that area. So here's kind of another picture of the ships. So you can see the 3 decks. you can see the pool in the back with the roof open, the retractable roof, and all the sides windows opened up, and the back is actually open too. There is a full wellness center on board, so you're talking about haircuts, massages, exercise facilities. That's available on the ships. We'll go to the staterooms now. We have the Emerald stateroom at 162 square feet, which is larger than a lot of the similar ships, similar category. It can be as low as 130 square feet. Makes a lot of difference. It's getting kind of hard to get around the bed there when you get down to that far. These are down at water level, so there's just an upper window there that you can get some good light in. And then there's two single cabins down there on the bottom deck as well. They're only 117 square feet. They're kind of like this. They're a little bit narrower, so they have a single bed going along sideways instead of coming out like that. But all these have the same amenities that you find in all of our cabins, except the big suites. So the bathrooms are large, lots of good water pressure, things like that. Nice toiletries, hair dryers, bathrobes, etc. Majority of the suites, 60 of them, are the Emerald Balcony Suite. These are 180 square feet, again larger than a lot of the competition. So they're very nice. Now this is actually what would be termed an indoor balcony. It kind of looks like a balcony, but it's really not. It's got the wood floor, but it's just that is the window that we invented with the scenic ships, whereby in the balcony the outer paneling is actually glass, and with the push of a button it can be raised or lowered. So in a way it's like a French balcony, but there's no railing to get in your way. It's all glass, and with the push of a button again, you can bring it down, get fresh air, look out, whatever you want to do. So we call it the open air balcony. And then the grand balcony, there's 8 of these. These are a little larger, 210 square feet, so nice size. Now that is a real balcony. You can see there's a door that opens up on the left there. It's folded, glass door. You really don't need to close that door once you open it up, because you can close the outer window on the outer balcony. So it allows people to spend a lot more time in the balcony, even if it's a little wet and cold or even too hot. You just close that window out there and enjoy the balcony and the ambiance of sitting out there. Looking at the Parliament building in Budapest here, that's actually where typically we will park the boat in Budapest. It's right across. And boy, you see that at night, or you wake up in the morning and look out. It's a jaw-dropping experience, first time. We also have Nespresso coffee machines in these rooms, and there is concierge service. And then these are the biggest cabins. These are 315 square feet. There's 4 of them, called the owner's suites. So it's actually a 1-bedroom. Bedroom can be divided off. It's got a nice little walk-in closet, nice balcony there, which is outside with the window again that goes up and down. You get complimentary room service, laundry, robe, and slippers. A little mini bar in there, so that will have some liquor in it. And there's an iPad in these. So these are very nice. They tend to sell first. So if you have customers that like this type of service, concierge type upgraded services, then there's only 4 of these on board, so you need to grab them pretty quick. There's a better picture of it. Look quite nice. The colors are just very neutral. Everything with Scenic and Emerald you'll find are neutral colors, so the focus is the outside, not the inside. Coming down the Danube there, that is Bernstein. So let's talk a little bit more about the value. Remember that it's including shore excursion every day, plus our Emerald Plus wine, beer, and assortment of wine, beer, and soft drinks. English-speaking staff, gratuities are included. So Emerald Plus, here's a couple of samples of what that Emerald Plus extra shore excursion that's included. So this would be along the Danube. It'd be a nice guided tour of the Milk Abbey. You can have an evening with a Czech in a Czech tavern, kind of getting the flavor of that society there. Glass blowing demonstration in Germany, post-afternoon tea in Slovakia, lectures, Hungarian dinner and dancing, lunch and cake baking at a family-run Osthoff, castle tours, chateau exploration. So a lot of things that we throw into the hopper there as an extra that which other people, many of them would charge for. How about Salzburg, Richesson, Krumlov? That's a full-day tour that we include. Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna, and our bikes. There's Lisa Norton, who is Vice President of Emerald for the United States market, off on a bike ride. And here's the pool. So this is actually a engineering feat I have not seen elsewhere. It's quite a novel idea. Scenic and Emerald are both, the company, same people run them. So they are noted to be very, very innovative in their concepts of new designs, new features. And when they decided to put the pool in here, they said, well, gee, the pool's going to be, a nice place to hang out during the day, but at night, who really wants to hang around a pool at night? Can't see much. So let's figure out a way to make this a multifunctional room. And as you saw, it's in the very back of the ship. So it is a lovely room during the day. I mean, it's very bright and open. If the weather's not so good, of course, they'll close the top. But there are people that will swim in it. It's pretty good, decent size for doing laps and whatnot. It's just mainly very comfortable just to hang out in the pool if you want. So it would take up to about 30 guests for seating. There is a bar that's kind of behind where this guy took the picture. It's got a 24-hour coffee service there as well as bar service. And it's spectacular. Notice that the bottom of the pool has planking on it. It looks like decking material. So I'll come back to that slide in a second. Oops, missing a slide. So that decking is in fact decking because with the push of a button in the afternoon, when everybody goes to dinner, they will in fact that bottom of that pool hydraulically will raise to the top. It'll take 15 or 20 minutes for that to take place, so the water can go down underneath, and then the decking is at the very top, so you have one solid deck across. They'll wipe the water off and bring out more chairs and couches and close up the windows, close the top, and at that point, there where you see the glass in the back, very back of the pool, that becomes a cinema. They bring down the screen, and they've got full AV equipment, and so they can show first-run movies. And that's what this slide, next slide, shows you just a sampling of what will happen. Typically 3 movie nights in a week, a couple of nights where they have a cafe, kind of a bar atmosphere type thing, where people can have a good time. Concert night, they might have cruise show. They'll have one night, which would be back down in the main lounge, so they'll have this closed up here. So it just kind of gives you an idea. There's a lot of things. We've had incentive groups use this facility for presentations, things like that. If you have your own groups are great on the cruise. If it's a reasonable amount of people, they can close that for the night and have dedicated to the group. So this is al fresco dining, as it shows that on the terrace. Let's go through some of the itineraries. Most popular probably for the 2-week category is the Amsterdam to Budapest, all the way across. We'll go into these in a little more detail. But 8 days Nuremberg to Budapest is the most popular, sells quickly. You have your Prague and Danube, adding the 3-night stay in Prague. The Jewels of the Rhine, of course, between Amsterdam and Basel. The Rhine and Moselle, a little bit longer trip, adding the Moselle River trip, side trip in there. the Bucharest, Budapest, Southern Danube. A little bit longer trip between Bucharest and Nuremberg for 17 days. And then in the springtime, your Netherlands and Belgium. That's typically the end of April, 1st of May. I think we have about 3 sailings. That's when the flowers come out, Keukenhof Gardens, and it's spectacular. I did it last year. It was a delightful trip. You get to see Bruges, you get to see Delta Works. There's some really, really interesting things to see. And then we do charter a different, it's not our ship, but we charter it for the Rhone River, Lyon to Arles. And then we have an itinerary from Trier to Nuremberg. And then we are doing charters in Vietnam, Cambodia, Mekong, and also Irrawaddy. So that's an old slide. The ship burned up. So the Emerald Belle will be, it didn't burn entirely, but it's not going to be able to be used for this year. So we will be, it's in the shipyard. That's where it's out on fire. And we will be starting over again with it. So we'll be out next year. We also have additional charters in Southeast Asia. We have the new Trier to Prague, 10-night itinerary this year.
Randy, excuse me. Randy, sorry, this is Sandy. We have a lot of people noticing that these slides have stopped moving. They're not coordinated. We're still looking at the pool room schedule slide, and it's not changing. I don't know if you're seeing anything on your end, or if.
No, mine's working quite well.
Yeah, mine has stopped too. Now we're on itineraries. That's a good sign. Just want to let you know that the slides are not coordinated with what you're talking about. I don't know if it's the internet connection you have or what, but
yeah, because I was moving right along. So you see the itineraries
now. We see itineraries, right? Splendors of Europe being the first one, and if you change it again, well, I'll let you know
I just changed it to Emerald Waterways in 2016.
Nope, we're still seeing itineraries with Splendors of Europe being the first one. So it's a little bit pokey. Just wanted to let you know we're hearing a lot of comments that the slides are not coordinated. Oh, now we see Emerald Waterways in 2016. So that's about the lag time we're experiencing here.
Okay, well that's what I was talking about, the Emerald Belle. It's unfortunately caught on fire in the shipyard where it was being built. So that's going to be delayed. That won't be out this year. Did you see that come up?
Yes.
Okay, and then Southeast Asia, that's where we have charters down in the Mekong and Irrawaddy.
Okay, we see that.
I probably got going a little faster. New Trier to Prague, 10-night itinerary.
Not seeing that yet. The new itinerary in Southeast Asia lines are still at the bottom. Oh, they just went up to the top. Okay, I'm just going to let you, just be aware that the slides are a little bit behind what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Trying to go through there a little bit quickly for people. New Passau to Budapest, that shows up, I hope.
Yes, we see that, and at the bottom now finally, we see new itinerary in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, and finally we're adding some extensions where people can start in Munich. That's pretty popular back in September, October during Oktoberfest, or they can start in Salzburg or end in Salzburg as well. So you should be seeing a map of the Netherlands trip.
Not yet. Still on Emerald Waterways in 2016.
Interesting. We haven't had that issue.
Yeah, I know. It's always something, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pokey. It hasn't changed yet.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you can describe what it says, and then when we see it, we'll be able to see what you're talking about.
These are maps of the different itineraries that I'm going through now, which a lot of you have seen. So it's not anything earth-shattering, and they're certainly in our brochures. So I'm just going to bounce ahead here, and maybe the system will catch up.
Okay, now we're seeing the Netherlands.
Okay. So in most of our itineraries, we have the cruise as well as optional pre and post. So you see some of those as extensions on the map. Has it moved ahead at all, Andy? Because I bounced through a few of them.
I'm seeing Splendors of Europe, 15-day Amsterdam to Budapest. Gorgeous pictures. Okay, now Enchantment of Eastern Europe, 10-day.
Okay. So Vietnam, is that coming up next?
There's a slide that's, well, now we got Magical Rhine and Moselle 12-day, and a new slide that's trying to come up, but we just see the right-hand panel of it right now.
Well, these are pretty nice pictures, pretty big pictures. That may be slowing it down a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, now we're on what's included.
Okay. Hey, you caught up with me. Thank you. So this is just kind of a recap. This is a Mekong 7-night river cruise is typical for the Mekong. And then you'll have hotels that are included, guided sightseeing with the local guides. Any type of flights are included. Airport transfers, meals, of course, a couple highlight dinners, port taxes and charges, and all gratuities are included. So when you're comparing to some of the other 4-star brands out there for the Mekong, you should really compare this as well, and along with the price, but also what's included. You find the pricing pretty much the same, but you find that we include more. So you can add the 2-night cruise along Halong Bay. It's a World Heritage Site. Of course, you can go to the temples of Angkor Wat. More than just Angkor Wat, there's a lot of temples up there in Siem Reap, in Cambodia. Khmer Rouge area, of course. Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi. Optional tours, a lot of these. Water puppet show. Also, we'll go backstage and meet the puppeteers and see how they do that. Is this keeping up now, Andy?
I'm seeing attend a traditional water puppets show, etc.
Yeah. So these are some of the highlights for our new Mekong charters that we're doing. So we throw quite a bit in there, including free air. There's a picture of the ship. Should be seeing that now.
It's trying to come up.
Oh, okay. It must be the pictures that are slowing things down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something. I don't know.
I don't know. This has never happened
Denver.
before.
I'm right in the middle of I'm in the middle of the country here in Denver. I should be getting good internet.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is the size.
It's not come. It's go to meeting. Apparently, it's not keeping up very well. I apologize for that, guys. But we'll make it through. Are you seeing some of the pictures now?
Not yet. Still on the slide that says attend a traditional water puppets show. And a little piece of a new slide that's trying to come up. Sorry, folks. This really, Randy has done so many presentations for us. It's never happened. There we go.
See if I can tip.
Now we have the Mekong Navigator.
Okay. That's the ship. Should bounce through a few more.
Beautiful ship.
slide I'm on actually is due for 2017.
Okay, now we have Mekong Navigator Salon.
Okay. Yeah, those big pictures. Usually GoToMeeting that's pretty good. Still on that one?
We're on new starships, new itineraries, new for 2017.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So for 2017, so for 16, we still have space. I'll talk to you in a minute about some of the sales we're having. Everything from pretty good discounts to fly free type opportunities for your clients for what space is left in 16. September sold out. Some of the other popular months like May would be kind of hit and miss what you could find. But if you have people interested in 16, then we do still have space and we have some great specials. But for 17, we're building our own ship for the Rhone. As you may recall, we've been chartering a ship there. It's time to have our own. And so this would be a beautiful new ship, very similar to the other ships that we have in design. And it will be a 8-day, 7-night cruise. Let's see where it goes there. It'll be called the Liberté. 138 guests, so it actually is a little bit smaller than the ships that we have with 182 guests. This is on sale now. There are 2 single staterooms like the other ships. They have extensions, optional extensions available for either Paris or Nice or both. Highlights, we visit item areas like hospices, guided tour of Macon. Emerald Plus is an onboard cheese and olive tasting. Provincial dinner prepared on board by one of the local chefs. A couple bike tours are included, and several other very interesting optional tours. The other new ship is going to be the Radiance on the Douro River. That's in Portugal, of course. It's round trip, 7 nights, 8 days, round trip out of Porto. There's an extension up in Salamanca, Spain, which is a World Heritage Site. That ship is going to have 112 passengers. So again, a smaller ship. It's a little bit more remote, a little smaller river in the upper parts. Optional extensions in either Lisbon or Madrid, or both. Highlights are the Douro Valley being a UNESCO World Heritage Site with lots of history and not just port wine, but all kinds of wine. Mentioned the Salamanca trip with the Tapa Bar, Tapa Lunch, Coa Valley Museum, Coa Valley being one of the oldest areas, artifacts in Europe that they found to date. And we're building a special dock just so that your clients will go up there and see that. Emerald Plus will be at one of the estates making some port wines. You get to enjoy that. And then some other optional excursions. So you can get a nice picture of the pool there. You can really see how open it is. It's lovely. So for groups, quite often get that question. The group policy is nights as a TC, so 5 cabins. We will have some in 16 where there will be fewer than that. You take 4 cabins, 7 person go free. Great way for you to not only make some additional revenue with that TC, but also to really have get some people out there. I personally think river cruises with a group, 5, 6, 7, 8 couples, is really a fantastic way for people to travel. In the case of Emerald, almost everything is taken care of for them, so there's very little for them to have to worry about. They can just focus on having a good time, come back, tell all their friends about it. We'll provide a little bit of additional group discount in there for them to encourage them. And if there's any type of special we can use needs as far as an event, we get together for the group, then we can certainly try to arrange something at Pool Seminary. For more information on Emerald Waterways, just go to emeraldwaterways.com. There's quite a bit of information here. The website's being updated all the time. Our most current offers are here. We also have an agent portal site. It's a great area to very quickly get a quote out or actually make a booking. I mean, within a couple of minutes, you can be talking to your client about live availability. What you need to know is the tour code. So next in the pricing area within the brochures would be a tour code. Yeah, pretty simple one, AMBU or something like that, depending on the itinerary. Put in the date range, put in whether you want, don't worry about the number of rooms, but number of guests, whether it's a single or double. You don't take triples. And then that pulls up live availability, so you're now looking at the availability for different sailing dates for that itinerary. You can click on one of those and actually be looking at the cabin itself and go ahead and either book or ask for a quote. If it's a quote, you don't need to fill out this stuff. You don't need to fill out this right away anyway, just prior to departures. The earlier we know if there's any food or dietary, not medical, mobility, those type of issues, the better for us. They'll take care of your client. But then at that point, you'll be able to have a list of what kind of discounts are available. I don't expect you to read this, but the idea is that there's like probably 8 different discounts, depending on the category of the cabin sometimes. Select the one that's best for your client. Then if they're not ready to book, you can provide this quote. They'll send them a quote on that cabin with the discount, so they'll be able to see exactly what they're going to pay for that cruise. And if they like that option, they can call you back and say, we want to take it. You go back into the booking engine, into the quote, which is highlighted right there when you come in, and click the bottom button down there where it says convert to booking, and you have yourself a booking. This is the flyer we currently have available out there on our current specials. We have two sets of specials. These are the 40% off. So these are the cruises that we have good inventory left this year in 2016. And so there's up to 40% off and €100 credit on board for them to use. So it gives them a heck of a value. We're already been voted the best value, and this just gives them an even better deal. It's going to be inventory control for certain itineraries, so they can go away at any point in time once the ship is sold out to X%, whatever that might be. It's all controlled by the people in inventory control. These are some other fly-free offers. These are highlighted again on the website under offers. There's an offers tab. You can look at that at any time. These are due to expire at the end of February. So it's fly-free to Europe. It's based on different itineraries, but it's panorama cabin, the grand balcony cabins, not just the standard stateroom. Standard stateroom there, it's $9.95 air per person. We have 25, I think it's 25 different gateways out of the United States. And then Southeast Asia, we're offering fly-free. And then, of course, you can mold all this into a group booking as well. So good opportunity now. We only take a $500 per person non-refundable deposit, final payment 90 days prior. So you can actually be booking those customers that just aren't sure they're going to do anything in 16 like this, but they might want to do 17. They could book now for the $500 per person deposit, and then it could be a year until they owe the final deposit, or final payment. I mean. They get full documents, including backpacks, kind of day packs. People love those. They take them out on the excursions each day. These are the different contact people within Scenic USA right now. And so depending on what part of the country you are, take a note of who your local representative is. And I'm kind of ad hoc. I cover whatever, wherever. And then if you happen to be in Canada, you need to work with the people in Canada. So they have different pricing, different deals, things like that. So I'll take some questions now, Cindy.
Okay, thank you. And again, apologies to everyone signed in today for what looks like a little bit of an internet glitch or something that made the slides slow down a bit, but the pictures are gorgeous. And right now we're looking at a slide of final documents and backpacks, so I know the list is going to come up. Here we go. Now it's here. So everyone, if I don't get to your question, because we were a little delayed today, or if you think of something after the webinar is over, here's a list of people in various parts of the country. So choose your part of the country and make note of the contact for both Emerald Waterways and Scenic Cruises. So let's get to some of these questions. A couple of our agents have asked if photos and videos can be used in their own personal promotions for for Emerald, and where does an agent go to get those and other collateral material?
Sure. I mean, if you go on to emeraldwaterways.com, you'll see quite a few of them. I would take you there now, but now I'm scared to do anything. For fear that you can't see what I'm telling you about. But if you go there and just kind of search around, you'll see like there's a great video in that shows the pool actually being changed. Again, you can well now you can tell why we can't show video on GoToMeeting. They haven't got the bandwidth. Obviously keep up with that or with the big pictures. But anyway, there's a number of different ones. There's some of my favorites. There's a great one in there by one of our cruise directors, Dutch gal, that happened to be on the cruise that I was on last year, and she was just delightful. And she's like your best friend, next door neighbor, and she talks like that, how much she loves working with your clients, etc. So there are several of them there. We also have a Facebook page. You can also Google on YouTube, Emerald Waterways, and there'll be quite a few of our videos there that you can use, but you're more than welcome to. If you don't know how to do that, if you see a video, get to where it's being promoted, the view of that, do a right mouse click, and it should be an option there to copy the URL. And you copy that URL, you go over and put it into your slides or whatever by doing a copy paste. Or actually you go up in a PowerPoint, you go up and say insert, you insert a hyperlink, and then you copy and paste that hyperlink, that URL, into that area, and that whenever somebody clicks on that area, it should pop up the video and run the video. Some of those YouTube videos, by the way, they have some ads that run in it and whatnot. So if you're showing it to a group of people, you kind of have to be there and just X out the ad when it pops up. It's just annoying. But the video should work fine. If you have any questions, ask one of us. We're more than happy to try to help you use those. They are totally consumer friendly, so there's nothing in there where we're talking about anything specific just to travel agencies, specific to the cruise and some of the special features.
Okay, and does Emerald offer collateral material other than brochures, such as letterhead or anything like that?
Well, if you're going to do a promotion, if you have a mailing list, email or mailing list, want to do a promotion, then you contact one of these people on the list here, and we'll certainly work with you on that and get you what you need. But
okay.
Obviously, we're kind of new kids on the block, and we want to get the information out, so we're more than happy to work with you.
Fantastic. I have a question that we often get with riverboat products, and that is it handicap accessible, not just the boat, but the shore excursions, and what are the issues for somebody either in a wheelchair or in a motorized scooter?
Well, it is a common question because a lot of those people are able to take ocean cruises and just hang out on the ship. Because the ship's kind of the destination, but in river cruises, the real destination are the individual places we visit each day. It can be fairly strenuous. Uh, Wheelchairs, scooters, walkers, things like that on cobblestones are tough. Getting on and off the ships can be challenging because quite often they're tied up next to each other. So you have to go through one gangplank, and the gangplanks are very narrow. You cannot use a wheelchair or walker or anything. You have to be able to walk to get along the gangplanks. Sometimes the ships don't line up. Usually they do, where you can walk from one lobby to another, and then on shore. Sometimes that doesn't work. It's happened a number of times. For me, it's been when we have to, for whatever reason, can't go through the lobby of the ship, so we have to go up on top deck and then come over and come down the other deck to get off the ship. So there are a lot of challenges on the ship. Not too many challenges really. We can work with people on the ship, and we've have had people on the ships who can't get mobility, can't get around very well, can't get in and out of the buses too well. They're very steep stairs, and so they just stay on board. They still have a delightful time. It's just not the full experience. So, in your position as professional travel agents, that's one of the little sticky situations that you have to kind of handle for people, make sure they understand, so they're not disappointed when they get there.
Okay. Excellent. You mentioned that the dining room is big enough to handle everybody at the same time, but is there flexibility in when the guests can arrive in the dining room, or does everyone go to like a 6:30 seating?
Well, one of the things you have to understand is we are an Australian company. Australians aren't really keen on strict rules. Uh, One question I always get is about dress code. We don't have dress code on board. It's meant to be casual. You can get a little dressed up if you want or not. This doesn't matter. As far as going to dinner, if dinner is at 6:30, people will show up somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30. There's plenty of room for people, so it's not a big deal. So it's pretty casual atmosphere about things like that.
Okay.
The only thing is strict on is, of course, the shore excursions, because the buses do need to leave on time, so they get people back on time, things like that.
Are the Nespresso machines in all of the cabins or just in the grand balcony suites? Are they in the panoramic balcony cabins? What's the story with the Nespresso
They're,
machine?
those were in the panorama balcony, so that's majority of they're not actually balcony cabins, but they're the indoor balcony cabin. But they have the Nespresso machines in there, so that's quite a nice added little feature for people.
Okay, very nice. We have time for just another couple of quick questions, and then, as I said, if we don't get to your question, please do make a note of who your contact is at Emerald, and give that person a call or an email with any additional questions. One of our agents wants to know, will there be pre- and post-excursion options in Paris and Nice on the French cruises?
Yes.
Okay.
And
And is there room service available?
room service is available, but only for the big suites, the owner suites. Concierge service is available for the grand balcony suites, so they can have a certain level of service. Full room service is available for the big suites. They have more room in there.
Okay. And finally, our last question is usually the most popular, and that is, how can our travel agents experience Emerald cruises themselves as far as FAMs or reduced rates or whatever? What does Emerald offer?
Well, we'll have a couple organized FAMs. We had one organized for the Bell, but since it is not able to get into commission this year, we've had to cancel that for the spring. We'll probably have one in the fall. And then there's the opportunity to have an independent FAM. It's all based on availability, but if you can check 4 months out, 120 days out, find a sailing that's got ample availability for us, then you can book that. at regular rates, then contact your PDM here and let them know that you would like to have that converted to the FAM rate of $495 for an agent, $995 for a companion. And we'll go to bat for you. It's all up to inventory control whether they can make that happen or not.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's a 20% discount. So.
Sounds great. And the Bell, is that being rebuilt now, or it's just going to come out a year later, or what's happening with that boat?
Yeah, I think they're still assessing everything there. I haven't heard. The goal is to just go ahead and get it cleaned up and rebuild it, but I don't think that's been finalized yet.
Okay. Thank you so much. Our speaker today has been Randy Goodrich from Emerald Waterways. Randy is the travel agent trainer for both Emerald and Scenic Cruises and a business development manager himself. Randy, thanks so much for doing this, and so sorry about the problem with the pokey slide situation.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. I was doing fine on my end. I saw everything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, technology sometimes just doesn't keep up.
Yep, I think we must have
I
gophers
appreciate
chewing
everybody
on
taking
a.
the time.
Yeah, me too. Thank
Yeah.
you to all of our agents who attended today for hanging in there with us, and we really appreciate it. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.